The father they threw out of his own daughter's wedding. The wedding of the year was underway. The event center was breathtaking. White roses lined the entrance. Crystal chandeliers sparkled overhead. Luxury cars filled the parking lot. Ellie's guests arrived dressed in expensive lace, agbadas, and designer outfits. Live-talking drummers entertained guests while photographers rushed from one celebrity guest to another. Everything screamed wealth. At the entrance stood several bouncers dressed in black suits, checking invitations. Then an elderly man appeared. He wasn't driving a Range Rover. He wasn't escorted by assistants. He arrived in an old yellow taxi. The man stepped out slowly. His native attire was neatly pressed but obviously old. His sandals were worn from years of use. In one hand he carried a small travel bag. In the other was a gold VIP invitation. He smiled as he approached the gate. "Good afternoon, my children." One of the bouncers barely looked at him. "Invitation." The old man handed it over. The bouncer checked it. VIP. Authentic. Yet something didn't seem right. He looked at the old man's clothes. Then back at the invitation. Then at the old man's shoes. "Who gave you this?" The old man smiled. "My daughter." The guards exchanged looks. "What daughter?" "The bride." The guards burst into laughter. The nearby guests joined in. "The bride." One bouncer shook his head. "Oga, stop joking." The old man remained calm. "I am her father." The laughter grew louder. The bouncer folded his arms. "Look around." Luxury cars continued arriving. Celebrities walked in. Influencers posed for cameras. Then he looked back at the old man. "You want us to believe that you're the father of the bride?" The old man nodded. "Yes." The bouncer stepped closer. "Where is your security?" "I don't have any." "Your convoy?" "I don't have one." The guards laughed again. The old man's smile slowly disappeared. "I traveled from my village in Enugu to be here." Still they refused. He showed them messages from his daughter. They ignored him. He showed them the invitation. They dismissed it. Finally one guard grabbed his arm. "Oga, leave before you embarrass yourself." The old man resisted. "Please. My daughter is getting married." The guards dragged him away. His bag fell. The invitation landed in the dirt. Then they pushed him onto the pavement outside the venue. Guests watched. Nobody intervened. The old man sat quietly, heartbroken. Inside the hall, the bride was preparing for her grand entrance. Dressed in a stunning white gown, she stood surrounded by bridesmaids and photographers. Then she looked through the glass entrance. And froze. Her heart stopped. Sitting alone outside the gate was her father. "Daddy." Without another word she lifted her dress and ran. The music stopped. The crowd watched in confusion. The bride sprinted through the venue and out the front entrance. "Daddy." She threw her arms around the old man. The old man looked up. Tears filled his eyes. "My daughter." The crowd fell silent. The bouncers suddenly realized what had happened. Their faces drained of color. The bride helped her father to his feet. Then she turned toward the guards. Her voice shook with emotion. "This man worked 3 jobs so I could attend university." She pointed at the wedding venue. "This wedding exists because of him." She pointed at her gown. "This dress exists because of him." She pointed at her wedding ring. "This future exists because of him." Tears rolled down her face. "You looked at his clothes. I look at his sacrifices." The crowd became emotional. Many guests lowered their heads. Some began crying. The bouncers immediately apologized. "We are sorry, sir. We didn't know." The old man smiled gently. "It's all right." But the bride shook her head. No. She took her father's hand. Today, nobody walks me down the aisle except you. The crowd erupted into applause. As father and daughter entered the venue together, every guest rose to their feet. A standing ovation echoed throughout the hall. The old man who had been thrown out moments earlier was now the most honored man in the room. Because true greatness isn't measured by wealth, designer clothes, or luxury cars. Sometimes the richest person in the room is the one who sacrificed everything so someone else could succeed. Moral: never judge people by their appearance. The person standing quietly at the gate may be the reason someone else is shining inside.